everyone wants to quickly take a seat, please? We don't want to be too late. Our trains run on time, so. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. My name is Lucy Andre, and I am the Chief of Staff here at Stadler US. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the groundbreaking of our new expansion. Today, as we look forward to the future, we also have a chance to reflect on the past. And for us, this day is a lot about home. In 2015, Stadler selected Salt Lake City, Utah as the home of our North American headquarters. We arrived here in Utah in 2016, and thanks to the generosity of the Utah Transit Authority, we were able to make a temporary home in their Warm Springs building. In 2017, we purchased a plot of land to build a permanent home, where we now stand. At the time, there was nothing but pasture around us. And thanks to the hard work of the Utah Inland Port Authority and others, this area has turned into a thriving community that's home to us and many other businesses. We've loved making this site a home for a workforce that now numbers over 500 employees. And today we're here to celebrate a significant expansion of that home that will enable us to double our workforce in the coming years. But before we get to that, we have another really exciting milestone to celebrate. A few years ago, I was visiting with some of our employees in our electrical pre-assembly area. I asked one of them what his goals and aspirations were, and he told me that his major goal was one day to be able to take his children on a Stadler train that he had built. And so today, we're going to take the first step in making that happen. I'm pleased to report that 2 days ago, the Utah Transit Authority Board approved a contract to purchase new TRAX vehicles that will run right here in our home. Such an exciting achievement for all of us. We're honored to have a signing ceremony for that contract this morning. Before we sign, we're going to hear some brief remarks from Carlton, Christensen, and Martin Ritter. Carlton Christensen is the chair of the board of the Utah Transit Authority, a position he's held since 2018. Prior to his tenure at UTA, he was the director of regional transportation, housing, and economic development for Salt Lake County. He was also a community development representative for Zions Bank. He has an extensive background in finance and accounting with nearly 2 decades of experience in the banking and property management development industries. We'll also hear from Martin Ritter, the CEO of Stadler US, and then he will also introduce Paul Skoutelas, CEO of the American Public Transportation Association. So please welcome Carlton Christensen.
Thank you, Lucy. On behalf of the Utah Transit Authority, my colleagues Beth Holbrook and Jeff Acerson, as well as our Executive Director, Jay Fox, we're excited to have Stadler be a partner with us as we replace an aging set of vehicles and also looking to new service in the future. Their very competitive price contract allows us options in addition to the initial set of cars that were purchased yesterday. And as we look to the future, we'll be delighted to have Stadler vehicles up and down our system. The Utah Transit Authority, as we look at the burgeoning demand on our system, we're 18% over last year in ridership. And as we look to expand to one of the fastest growing locations in the valley, this is having transit and having a strong transit system is going to be an important part as we meet the needs of our greater community. Having jobs here in Utah, having skills developed here in Utah. I have neighbors who are interns here at Stadler. It's an opportunity through the whole community to benefit from this investment. And we're delighted as a transit agency to be part of this opportunity and look forward to a few years to having new level boarding cars that are accessible to all and that replace an aging set of cars that have met their time. So thank you for the opportunity to be here today and congratulations to Stadler.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the employees, to everyone for this Memorial Day that we have here that we're signing today. Welcome to the guests, welcome everyone to the partners. We have many partners here today, whether those were existing customers, whether those were partners who help us to build this facility, or partners who help us with the funding, with getting through permits, with everything that's actually needed to build and run a business here in Utah. Thank you so much. Today is an incredible day. Most likely one of the most incredible days for Stadler in North America. Building trains is the coolest job that one can have. Building trains for your own community, it's even beyond everything one can express. We're so thrilled and excited to not only build the best trains in North America, but building the best trains for our own community here in Salt Lake City. It has been a dream, and Lucy mentioned it, it has been a dream for so many of us to be able to take our kids, some of us the grandkids, but taking our kids on a train and say, this is what dad or mom is doing all day long. That's gonna make us here in Utah even feeling more home. It's gonna be the first kind of CityLink for us, the first kind of this vehicle technology in North America. So for Stadler, it's going to be a big step to get that light rail technology into the market after we've been conquering the commuter rail market with the FLIRT and the KISS. The CityLink, for us important, but I believe truly for the industry, a very important step. Our industry is in big need of the latest and greatest technology, also in terms of light rail segment. Thank you. Thank you, UTA, for trusting in us. Thank you for believing in us. And all I can say to the end is, we will not disappoint. Thank you. Now it's my great honor to introduce Paul Skoutelas, who actually has been here already in 2019, in May 2019, speaking when we did open our great facility that we have in our back. Paul is the President and Chief Executive Officer of the American Public Transportation Association. His entire career, he has been in public transportation, serving in both in the business, private sectors, as well as in the public sector. Skoutelas is a champion for the power of public transportation to create personal and economic opportunities for all to connect and build thriving communities. Prior to him joining APTA in 2018, Paul served as a Senior Vice President for WSP USA, one of the world's largest architectural and engineering firms, and National Director of WSP US Transit and Rail Technical Excellence Center. Paul also, we all know, has been a tremendous part of getting that record amount of funding that goes into in our industry based on the existing administration. So thank you, Paul, for everything you do for us, for our industry, and thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, Martin. Good morning, everybody. It is great to be here. As Martin said, it was 2019 when I had the great honor and privilege to be here as part of a ceremony much like this to dedicate this first facility of Stadler. And I've come to know over the years in my current position of the dedication and commitment that Stadler has made to the U.S., to the U.S. public transportation market. And I want to congratulate its leadership. Maybe we'll wait for not compete with the airlines here for a moment. But I want to congratulate the leadership of Stadler, Peter, its chairman, Martin, of course, and Lucy, who I have occasion to work with, I won't say on a day-to-day basis, but a very frequent basis. And I see their engagement in our industry. You know, public transportation is an economic force in our country. We represent about an $80 billion a year industry. It directly employs some 450,000 employees and supports several million private sector jobs. It is truly something that makes the economy hum. And here, I think in Salt Lake, what you have done over the many years, and again, I was privileged to be here many times, overseeing some of the work that occurred here, the existing light rail network that was expanded, and the improvements to your commuter rail network. It's really been a magnificent development over these last couple of decades. To see this community embrace public transportation, continue to improve, and provide not only mobility options for people, but the creation of jobs. And here today, we're seeing is just that commitment from Stadler in terms of expanding this facility, doubling it, doubling the workforce, which is great news, certainly for the community, for the state, and I'll tell you, for the industry as well, because we do believe in the power of investment in public transportation. I also want to congratulate my colleagues at UTA. Board Chair Carlton, thank you again for all what you do. Beth, you're so active in so many respects, and Jeff, and of course I don't see Jay Fox, but I know his commitment to the industry, and I want to thank the UTA workforce because they're the people that deliver the service every day. And Martin, I would agree with you, building trains must be pretty cool, but I have to tell you, my bias is riding trains is cool too, and I enjoy it very much. But I couldn't be happier to be part of this this ceremony, this event again, for all the momentous reasons that have been mentioned, not the least of which is this new contract between UTA and Stadler, the potential to bring as many as 80 new light rail vehicles to this market, which will be just a great addition in terms of mobility options for the community, certainly job creation, but all the things necessary as this community prepares for the Olympics, which, you know, is not that many years away. I know a decade sounds like a long time, but it truly is not. So my thanks, my congratulations to you all for what you're doing together as a collaboration. And we're just pleased to be a part of it, to know that what you're doing really has an impact on our nation and the economic development of manufacturing jobs throughout the U.S. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. We are now going to sign a contract. So it's always a good thing, right? So I'd like to have Martin and Peter Spuhler, who is our board chair, come up, and also Carlton and Beth. Is Jeff here too? Yes. So we have a contract up here to be signed. We'll all just let you sign it. Go ahead.
So as a symbol of the start of our relationship, and Paul also said it, we are handing over to UTA a wonderful piece of art that has been crafted by a local artist here from Salt Lake City. And the train obviously shows the beautiful Utah Wonderland in the winter cover. It also has a golden frame, which is symbolic for the Olympics in 2034. We didn't want to put the Olympic rings on it because that's a trade issue, but just symbolic. It is really a wonderful set for hopefully a very bright future that we will have together. So thank you very much, and looking forward to see this hanging in the entrance of UTA.
Absolutely. You get the real thing. Thank you so much. Okay, Peter, you stay here because I'm going to now introduce Peter Spuhler, who is our board chair at Stadler US, at Stadler Rail. Yeah, so he's the chairman of the board of directors for Stadler Rail and the former group CEO of Stadler. He's been leading this company in various positions since acquiring it in 1989. And under Peter's leadership, Stadler has grown from 18 employees in 1989 to a global powerhouse of almost 15,000 employees today. So please welcome Peter Spuhler.
Thank you. Thank you, Lucy. Welcome to our guests, especially the governor, the president of the Senate, and the mayor. And a very special welcome and a very special thank you all the employees from the US Stadler factory here. I'm very proud about your daily job that you make and the big success that we have here in the United States. Maybe a short overview about Stadler. We are now 15,000 employees in 16 sites all over the world. We have around 14,000 locomotives and trains that operate in 49 countries. We started our activities in the US in 2002. We delivered 20 trains to New Jersey directly from Switzerland. We got a waiver. We didn't have to fulfill the Buy American Act. Then it was the same with the order of Austin and DCTA, Texas. And then with Tax Rail and Coal Train, we have to fulfill the Buy American Act. And then the big question was, in which part of the United States we will establish Stadler US. And we found here in Salt Lake a very good government, and this government helped us to find the right location, the right ground, and help us in different fields. In 2017, it was the first groundbreaking ceremony here, and we started with this building, and we had a big success in the market. And this is the reason that we are here for the second groundbreaking ceremony. Especially with the last three orders, MARTA, CBTC and DART. We are now more than 500 employees, and we grow in the future, I think, to 600, 700, 800 employees. This is a big success for us, for the whole group, and I think also for Salt Lake City. I'm very proud that we can bring now the newest technology in aluminium car body welding to the United States. This will be one of the part of the new capacity that we will build up here on this ground. With this new order to UTA, we have closed the gap in the market. We are very strong in single-decker, double-decker trains, also in metro, and now we have the LRVs also in the market. And I think we will have a lot of success with this new product, and we have now a big chance with our product portfolio. In the green technology, we are the world leader. No other competitor has sold such a lot of trains in battery or in hydrogen. Especially all here in the United States, we won a hydrogen tenders, and I think this is the new technology instead of diesel DMUs. I say, once again, thank you very much for the staff here. I'm very proud, and it's a big pleasure to be here, and I realize how enforce you the market here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Peter. It's a pleasure to have you here with us. Well, as we move into the groundbreaking part of our ceremony, today we want to recognize and be cognizant that this land, which we call home, was previously called home by others. And so we've asked Dustin Jansen to help us honor this land. Dustin is originally from Coyote Canyon, New Mexico. He was born and raised on the Navajo Reservation and is an enrolled member. Dustin received his Associate of Science from Utah Valley University, his History BA from Brigham Young University, and his Juris Doctorate from the University of Utah. He practiced as an attorney and a judge in the tribal court systems for nearly 15 years. He served as a judge for the Confederated Tribes of the Goshute Reservation, a hearing officer for the Navajo Nation Office of Hearings and Appeals, a pro tem judge for Zuni Pueblo, and has been teaching at UVU since the fall of 2015, where he's the program coordinator for the American Indian Studies program. So please welcome Dustin Jansen.
Thank you so much for allowing me to participate in this wonderful and exciting event. Usually, I am Kiowa enrolled Navajo, and we usually introduce ourselves and traditionally. So in case there's any Navajos out there, what we do is we get clans from our parents and our paternal grandfathers, and those clans, after we state them, we usually end up saying at the end, our traditional way of saying is which means that's what makes me a human, or that's what makes me Navajo. But what also makes us who we are is our ties to this land. And I just want to take this time to acknowledge those tribes that are still here within the state of Utah, that have sovereign tribal governments that work in partnership with the state of Utah and the federal government. I'm very happy to also serve as Director of Indian Affairs for the state of Utah, to work with Governor Cox and Lieutenant Governor Henderson, and to see the work that they put forward to work with our tribes, to develop good partnerships, to develop good friendships. And that's been very apparent these last few years that I've been able to do that. In this area was traditionally occupied by the Ute tribe, the Goshutes, and the northwestern band of Shoshone, and this area was more of a crossroads for people for traveling, going one direction to another. And a lot of history has taken place along what we see as I-15 and I-80, and a lot of that history is shared between Native people and not the non-Native populations that slowly came west. And that history is sometimes troubled, but that history is also sometimes really great. And we're continuing to see that greatness happen today. I'm grateful to work in an administration that values land, that values partnerships, and that values good stewardship over this wonderful state. I hope that we can continue to work together. I didn't do that, the wind did. And I hope that we can continue to develop these partnerships. Transportation is so important. The Goshute tribes would walk everywhere. They didn't want to use horses because they thought it tore up the land. And when I look at railways and railroads and the TRAX system that we have here, and the safe transportation it provides, the affordable transportation it provides, and it all done through the partnership of everyone here. It is my prayer, it is my hope that we can continue working together, that this great company and this great state will continue working with tribes and their tribal governments to make sure it continues to be done in a really good way. And I thank you for that.
Thank you so much. We are so pleased to have you here to honor the heritage that we share in Utah. Stadler's success here in Utah is also due to the fact that we have an amazing set of government elected officials, and we rely on them. We appreciate their partnership. They've created an environment where both business and individuals can thrive, and we're pleased to have some of them here with us today. So we'll first hear remarks from Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson, and then from Utah Senate President Stuart Adams. So I'll just introduce them both quickly. Mayor Jenny Wilson is a fifth-generation Utahn and the first female Democratic mayor of Salt Lake County. Prior to being elected mayor, she served on the Salt Lake County Council, for 10 years. Throughout her tenure, Mayor Wilson has sought to preserve the amazing quality of life in Salt Lake County and ensure that the benefits of the county remain accessible to all. After her, we'll hear from Stuart Adams, who serves as the president of the Utah Senate. Before being elected to the Senate, President Adams served 4.5 years in the Utah House of Representatives and 9 years on the Layton City Council. He's a former chairman of the Utah Transportation Commission and chairs the Military Installation Development Authority. During his time representing the 7th District, President Adams passed legislation to address religious freedoms, affordable energy, clean air, and transportation. In his words, he is honored to represent the community where he grew up and raised a family, and enjoys working in this capacity as Senate President to benefit the great state of Utah. So, please welcome Mayor Jenny Wilson.
Thank you so much. And Peter and Martin, thank you for including me in Salt Lake County today. And I'll tell you, there might be something wrong with me because I was getting a little emotional a minute ago. Looking out at the trucks and the transportation moving on the interstate, and there was a delivery truck that pulled up, dropped some things and left. The planes going overhead. I mean, we are thriving in this county, and it really is due to several factors, but great companies, local employees, the kind of blending of our international, in this case, an international company bringing in international expertise, and then our amazing local folks. The Olympics were mentioned, and I had the chance years ago in 2002 to be staff at the Olympics, and it was similar to this merging of international research and thought and expertise, connecting with our local people and our local industries. And I think that's what got me a little emotional, seeing how many flights are coming in, and just having conversations with those of you involved in the port, and your reassurance to me that we're going to continue to build a sustainable port. I know I see Salt Lake City officials here who are committed to that as well. And there are 3 things I care about quite a bit: sustainability, innovation, and jobs. And Stadler, you're delivering all 3, so thank you for that. A real quick personal reflection, in addition to my emotion on this beautiful day. I had the chance to work for Congress in the 90s. And in the 90s, we rolled out, with a lot of cooperative efforts and some resistance, frankly, the first line, the first TRAX line. And I remember even when the name TRAX was revealed, and that line went from downtown Salt Lake City to Sandy. And look how far we've come. It really is remarkable. I'm happy about the contract that was just signed, that these trains are going to serve our local community. So thank you. I'm so happy to be included in this. I speak for a very vast amount of Salt Lake County residents who care about good companies delivering. And then to the employees here, I would agree, Martin, there's nothing cooler than going back and saying to your kids, like, look what I do every day. I get to build sustainable trains that are delivered throughout the world and now here at home as well. Thanks so much, and I appreciate being here.
watch out for the microphone there, but the planes coming over, I'm from Davis County, and in Davis County they're normally F-35s, and we take credit for the flyover. So just pretend for a minute that they're here celebrating the event, and we've arranged a flyover for you today. But I want to start by doing something that's kind of personal to me. It was 9 or 10 years ago that I was in Switzerland and met Peter for the first time, Peter Spuhler for the first time. Impressed with him, impressed with his ingenuity, impressed with his drive, impressed with his heart. And he had a chance to take this operation anywhere in the United States. You took a risk on us, and I'd like to recognize, stand up, Peter, will you? I'd like to recognize him personally for what he has done for Utah, what he has done for the world. You see, he builds trains, but he takes care of people. And it's a big deal for us because not only does he take care of people, as we were going through the factory in Switzerland, we saw something was kind of special. We saw kids working there, high school kids. And we asked about him, and he talked about an apprenticeship. And what they do is they allow kids to come work there, and they actually get paid, and they get credit for their high school degree, and they work there part-time. We actually brought that program back to Utah. So when we talk about this great event that we're building 20 new cars, maybe 60 new cars, $129 million, it's more than that. It's actually hiring high school kids, giving them a future, whether it's a manufacturing, technical skill, or whether it's engineering. You're helping the community and helping the kids and our families in the state of Utah, and hiring a lot of people. I go way back into the 1990s when we were trying to buy the right to run on the mainline track here for the commuter rail, and to actually build some of the light rail right away. A long time, and this is kind of exciting to see all this happen. But I, again, live in Davis County, and I drove up here on Legacy or West Davis, and I looked at the area, and I can see a lot of opportunities, but I also see some challenges. So I know Peter and Martin like challenges, and I know the governor loves them, the mayor loves them, UTA loves them, UDOT loves them. So I'm going to maybe issue a little bit of a challenge today, because a great day for light rail, but I don't think we're going to build another freeway through Davis County. I just don't see it happening. And I don't think we're going to build another freeway through the point of the mountain. I don't see that happening either. I just see Mountain View Corridor and I-15. The future is going to be front runner. And as I travel the world, I see trains that actually travel 180, 220 miles an hour. Ours travels 79 miles an hour. My challenge is we need to change front runner from 79 miles an hour to 150. We need express trains from Ogden to Salt Lake, Provo to Salt Lake, and if we do that, we're going to have everybody on a train. And I know that Stadler will help us, the governor will help us, everybody will help us to get that done. There's a lot of problems with at-grade crossings and proximity to Union Pacific, but I think we can accomplish that. And that is the challenge I'd like to give today, and hopefully remember that in a few years we'll be back celebrating more efforts with commuter rail. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, President Adams and Mayor Wilson. Challenge accepted. So we'll get together and try to figure that out, right? Awesome. Well, today we're also very thrilled to have our governor with us today. Spencer Cox has a long track record of public service, serving as a city council member, mayor, county commissioner, and state legislator before being appointed as Utah's lieutenant governor in 2013. He was sworn in as governor on January 4th, 2021. During his first term in office, Governor Cox has cut $1.1 billion in taxes, implemented landmark changes in water law, water conservation, and infrastructure planning, locked in record funding for education and teachers, enacted universal school choice, and secured funds for affordable housing. He's a longtime advocate for suicide prevention and mental health resources. He's become a national voice on protecting youth from the harms of social media. He also signed early education and workforce program funding, launched the One Utah Health Collaborative, and expanded opportunities for women, diverse communities, and those living in rural parts of the state. And I know he's been always a good friend to Stadler and a big support for us. So please welcome Governor Spencer.
Thank you for that very kind introduction, ladies and gentlemen. It's so good to be with you today. This is an incredible opportunity. I want to thank Peter and Martin for their kindness and generosity, for their leadership here in the state. Look, several years ago, a member of the state legislature came to talk to me, Jake Andrag, and Jake said to me, we have this amazing opportunity. There's this company in Switzerland who wants to build trains in the United States, and they're thinking about Utah. And I have to be perfectly honest. I said, that's incredible. I'm pretty sure they're not going to build trains in Utah. And here we are, building trains in Utah. And I'm so proud of the collaboration, the partnership, as we've worked close together to make this a reality. And so many people have done a great job. I should start by just saying, I know everything's been said, but not everyone has said it yet, and that's why I'm up here, to repeat some of the great things that other people have said. But I really, I mean this sincerely. Look, just last week, there was a think tank who did a study on manufacturing in the United States. And they were shocked to learn that Utah is the leader in manufacturing in the United States over the past 5 years. We are #1 in the country, 12% increase in manufacturing right here, more than anywhere else, and Stadler is at the heart of making that happen. It's not just Stadler, obviously there are lots of manufacturing companies that are expanding and moving here, but that was not what people expected. They expected it to be somewhere else, and yet once again Utah is leading the nation in so many powerful ways. The President and I just got back from Asia. We were in Korea and Japan and had incredible conversations with many large companies that want to expand, and they're looking at Utah to expand their international presence here. We speak more second languages per capita than anywhere else in the United States. I'm so grateful for what you heard earlier about the Native Americans who lived here. This has been the crossroads of this country long before the pioneers came here. But when my ancestors came, it continued to grow as the crossroads. Of course, there's a golden spike not far from here that was driven when the railroads met. And this is the perfect place to build trains. Mayor, I have to tell you, I actually have this photo on my phone that I keep. It's an interesting photo. It's a picture, you can't see it, but it's a picture of a protest. This protest, there are protesters with signs, and they're blocking a roadway, and the sign says, "Light rail kills children." They were trying to stop light rail from being built here in our state. Now, change is hard for people, for sure. I am so grateful that we have light rail in the state, and I'm grateful that we have heavy rail as well. And I just want to underscore the vision of President Adams and how important that is for our state and for our country, that we are a country who is known as being the builders. The country who's known to take chances and take risks, to lead the world in everything. With one glaring exception, and that is our trains and our transportation. We can do better, and Utah should be leading the nation in that as well, especially with Stadler here. And so we're proud of the people who work here. Thank you for what you're doing to improve our state and our society. I also have to just mention again the education piece of this. I don't usually say this about Europe, but there's one thing they do a little better than us at times, and that is certainly when it comes to educating young people. And understanding the connection between education and work is something we have not done as well. We have taken and adopted the model that Stadler shared with us many years ago, and we're trying to expand that throughout the state of Utah. I was just speaking, the Speaker of the House is not here with us, but I was talking to him yesterday about ways to expand that model elsewhere throughout the state, giving young people an opportunity to learn and work together. That's what Stadler is doing here, and we're so proud of that program and the way it's changing the landscape here in the state of Utah. We are very fortunate to be in a place where we do have prosperity, where business is thriving, where you can see it happening all around us right now, and the best is yet to come because of the people who are investing here. Congratulations to Stadler Rail on this expansion. Congratulations on all their success. We know there is more to come. Thanks everyone for making it happen.
Thank you, Governor Cox. It's time to break some ground. So if I could just invite you all to come over here to the groundbreaking. So we will have, sorry, I'm now messing. Charlotte, I promise. So we'll have Governor Cox, Peter Spuhler, Mayor Wilson, Carlton Christensen, Paul Skoutelas, and then Sheldon Kilpack, and